Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Virgo December 11, 2022. It can be tempting to take on too many projects or line up more activities than you can reasonably manage early today. With Venus, your ruler, clashing with Jupiter, it's easy for expectations to blow up. A good measure involves asking yourself if you'd be able to do these things on a regular day when energy levels and moods are just ordinary. Keeping your future self in mind, you might aim for a bit of moderation today. Otherwise, you may spend a lot of time on something that holds little weight. Venus begins its transit of your solar 4th house today, bringing a stronger desire and potential for harmony on the home front or in your personal life. You get a boost to your sense of self and inner stores of courage in the weeks ahead. Until January 2nd, you can be more protective of the people you care about and of your feelings. It's a time when you're careful with your heart, a little more cautious in love, and conservative with your money. Still, relationships with very close loved ones, family, or roomies stand to improve. You might enjoy quieter activities, cooking, decorating, and improving the home atmosphere. A particularly spectacular day for your personal life awaits. As mighty Jupiter, our greater benefic planet, spreads his wings like an archangel across the sky, he will cast feathers into the heavens. Venus, now orbiting in the degrees of your solar 3rd house of communication, will reach up to catch them. This means that you can articulate the magical words that help you to grow closer with your one and only than ever before. Some singles may even meet someone out and about at familiar haunts nearby or even someone through work. Keep your eyes peeled. Err on the side of optimism, but do not forget to use your discernment. It might be challenging to be anything but hopeful, but try not to let your good-natured energy get the best of you when Venus in Sagittarius squares Jupiter in Pisces. Since this square is a little disarming, you may need to cap it in conversation either about work or with coworkers. If not, you may find yourself swindled into an opportunity, obligation, or responsibility that you were not anticipating. It might be best to hold back from new commitments. At the same time that the moon is making its last visit to your career sector for the year and while Jupiter is still in your work sector, a friendly aspect to the south node in your income sector is adding its influence into the mix. This first visit since the sun left your income sector is helping to bring all the threads together from across the income, work, and career fronts. The energy emanating from the planets today presents a mental challenge. Emotions and power are growling at one another, maybe they're even engaged in a real fight. The mental challenge is in stepping back and assess the situation. How much is at stake? Will it eventually blow over? Is it about winning and losing? Most of all, the challenge will be to continue to respect your personal health regimen in the face of this distraction. It is neither fair nor prudent to neglect your body and all the energy contained therein. Closure is a common theme for this day. If there is an area or relationship in your life that has reached the point where continuing isn't possible or healthy, this is sure to be emphasized today. Take some time to consider what you may need to do to bring closure to these areas. And further, you'll need to determine your emotional needs as well. Don't put off what you truly know is inevitable and be nurturing to yourself through the process. The last few days have seen both Mars and a full moon put pressure on the Sun and Venus in your communication sector, but with a chance on the other side to start reaping the benefits. It is during her final hours here that Venus has developed a new sense of urgency when it comes to her mission to give your heart and your relationships a voice. At the same time, this is a full moon that has added even more fuel to Mars' passion for adventure, with war having now been declared on old excuses, roadblocks, and barriers, whether real or imagined. As Venus, the planet of love, leaves your communication sector today, her short 24-day mission to give your heart and your relationships a voice comes to a close. With Mercury, the planet of communication, having left 3 days ago, this will leave only the Sun behind. When the Sun leaves in 12 days, this will end all planetary activity on the communication front, but the full moon 2 days ago has already put a serious dent in any communication barriers. Our eyes in the sky. Relationship tension could form this morning as a square between Venus and Jupiter takes center stage in the cosmos. You might feel as though your partner has been more self-involved lately and your needs aren't being met. This aspect could also make it difficult to find inspiration on a personal level, and the temptation to sleep in will be real. Try to watch your triggers right now, and avoid being reactive if you're faced with internal or external conflict. Full of energy and courage, you need not ask for better conditions to achieve your ambitions. Proceed with caution as you easily get sidetracked by intricate details that appear to be interesting and distract you. Approach things in a level-headed and sensible way and avoid taking too long to reach a successful outcome by concentrating on important tasks. Making plans for the future, you adopt a position that increases the strengthening of family ties. Your relations happily accept this and support you firmly in your plans. The consolidation of personal relationships continues in your love life. You get close to a certain someone, and long-lasting bond results from the well-meaning advances you make. Plans you try to implement require you to focus attention. More than ever, it's important to accept that you cannot change certain things and you don't allow your disappointment to stand in your way. Instead, concentrate on things which lie ahead. With the correct amount of patience and persistence, even if it takes longer, you reach your goal. As we head into the afternoon, the energy begins to lighten significantly, and an opposition between the Moon and Mercury gives us the opportunity to communicate and sort out our feelings. With its emotional ups and downs, this day could feel like a roller coaster, but any issues that arise during the day should resolve by nightfall. You'll likely feel exhausted by day's end due to the lunar tension, so head to bed early and get some much-needed rest. Finally, Venus enters Capricorn tonight, making us work hard for love and money. Roll up your sleeves and dig in. In the morning, Venus in Sagittarius squares off with Jupiter in Pisces, causing us to throw caution to the wind. Avoid putting yourself in harm's way via undue optimism. In our good mood, we might think, what's the worst that can happen? And most of the time, the worst does not in fact come to pass. We may simply get stuck negotiating a few uncomfortable or cringy interactions. Yet, if the stars misalign, we risk doing damage to our relationships through a lack of self-restraint or empathy. We don't have the best awareness of our limits, and our idealism can place us in vulnerable positions. By exercising moderation, we should be able to handle this influence just fine. Doubts appear to have dissipated, and you're busy moving forward. Use this newfound energy to start new projects and make important decisions. Since everything is taking care of itself, you feel totally at ease with what you're doing and able to be effective and enjoy success. Don't get involved in too many projects. Otherwise, you risk becoming exhausted. Mostly because of your open and friendly conduct, people provide you with positive feedback that you're likely to find extremely helpful. They notice how instinctively you provide them with the support and encouragement they need and naturally return the help received, so an atmosphere of mutual support develops, which is beneficial for everybody. Following this, the Cancer moon opposes Mercury in Capricorn, clouding our judgment. We believe we are approaching a problem rationally, yet our perspective is biased and our emotions are erratic. Positions that we vigorously defend one minute may be swapped out the next, with no explanation. The way we vacillate in our logic will be frustrating to our conversational partners, and we may not even realize we are doing this dance. Instead of wasting time trying to convince another to adopt your position, put your energy into managing work or routines.